Statistically speaking, your bones will be creaking under the weight of power pure and great. We're not gonna hurt you and never desert you unless you harm us first, then expect the worst. We are ninjas, we are brothers, we're united and we're strong. We are ninjas, we are turtles, we are heroes.
The Legend of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Part 1, Chapter 12, Crime. Written and performed by Joseph Chambers and based on the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic books created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. Leonardo had promptly gone to bed, so he had enough sleep for morning training. Splinter, meanwhile, checked all his other sons were present. Strange, Donatello was not in his bed or in his lab. Michelangelo was in the swimming pool and said he hadn't seen Donatello for about an hour, so Master Splinter went to ask Raphael, who he found singing loudly in his bedroom and hopping around strumming his leg like a guitar. "Why you gotta play that song so loud? 'Cause we want to. 'Cause we want to. Why you always run around in crowds?" Master Splinter crept into the room behind his son and finished the verse, "'Cause we want to. 'Cause we want to." Raphael practically jumped out of his shell at the appearance of his sensei, immediately dived at the boombox at the foot of his bed, cut the flow of power by yanking the plug roughly out of the wall socket, and silenced Billy Piper. It was a little loud, but that is the least of my worries at the moment. Have you seen Donatello anywhere? Not since you left, no. He was acting weird earlier, though. I tried to see what he was doing on his laptop, and he slammed it shut, screaming that I couldn't prove anything. I didn't even know there was anything to prove, Raph replied, shrugging. Splinter removed his shell cell from the pocket of his black and ragged trousers and analysed where the tracker application said his son was. In the family room? On the sofa? Well, obviously not. Donatello, Splinter growled. Raphael made a smug face, suggesting he was quite pleased that Donatello would be getting told off and not himself for once. April and Donatello talked for half an hour. They found out each other's birthdays, and April read their horoscopes from a newspaper as a joke, since neither of them really believed in such things. Taurians, like Donatello, could expect disappointment in a current field of interest, whilst Leos, like April, should not say yes to anything they are unsure of. Donatello seemed so infuriated with what a load of rubbish it all was that he threw the newspaper out of the window. They also found out they both loved puppies and kittens, although who didn't? They both enjoyed pizza and were both fans of the British TV programme Doctor Who, which led to a debate about who the best Doctor had been, with Donatello insisting it was Tom Baker and April certain it was David Tennant. Their meeting sped by like 5 minutes, and before Donatello knew it, it was time to go home. I'm sorry, April, but I really have got to go home. Tempus fugit, he uttered glumly. What did you just say? Was that Latin? April asked curiously. Yes, for time flies. Donatello shifted his feet uncomfortably, although he could not think of a scientific reason why. He felt strangely comfortable, yet oddly tense. Well, we can always meet up again, April responded. I would really like that. Well, at least we've had some carpe diem tonight. He giggled cheerily. Then, sensing blood rushing to his cheeks, he checked his pulse. It was slightly elevated. Am I now prone to cardiac problems? He thought to himself. Then they both left the apartment, and just as Donatello was about to lift a nearby manhole cover and throw himself back into the sewers, he heard a cry for help. Donatello unexpectedly sprinted towards the sound, leaving April to run at less than a quarter of the speed behind him. Donatello sped around a corner and ran full pelt into an alley. Give it here, punk, demanded a small, thin and pale man with an indigo mohawk and tattooed arms. He was wearing a sleeveless leather jacket, black t-shirt, ripped jeans, damaged trainers, and was carrying a small pocket knife. "Yeah, give it to us and you don't get hurt," demanded a large, muscular, bald man with a protruding scar vertically across his lips, wearing a dirty white vest, camouflage jeans, army boots, and carrying a pistol. His left ear was pierced on the helix with a gold ring. A man of about 30 years old cowered beneath the two of them. "Please don't hurt me," he stuttered, removing his wallet from his coat. "Not so fast," stated the green teen standing at the end of the alley. "Ha! Look at this, Kevin," the large man laughed. "A little kitty in a Halloween costume wants to take us on." "He thinks he could take us down with... what even is that, a broom handle?" the smaller man asked with genuine confusion. "Danny, wait!" April gasped, finally catching up with him. "Don't worry, I have got this," he announced back to her. He then ran towards the two attackers and swung his bow with both hands from under his right arm to above his head. He then twirled the bow with one hand and then brought it down onto the head of the larger man with the gun. Then he gave him a kick in the stomach by lifting his leg and rotating it so his instep hit the man in the side. The man shrieked in shock, having not expected any kind of force in the kid's attack, and fell sideways into the smaller man, who had no time to yelp before being crushed between his friend and the brick wall of the grimy alley. The civilian began to scarper away, screaming, "Alien!" at the top of his voice. Donatello then pointed his bow accusingly at the two men and snarled menacingly, "Do not attempt to take anything that is not yours again, or I will make sure I finish what I started." He then bashed both of the dazed men's heads together and knocked them out, then left the scene with April by his side. "I told you I got it," Donnie said casually. "I will never underestimate your stick again," April replied, stunned from her friend's fighting ability.